This episode is going to be a little different than the others. This is episode 10, y'all, and I figured let's celebrate. Let's do a little life update. Let's talk about where this podcast is going, some wins, some struggles, and just give y'all a little rundown of everything that's been going on. Because this episode is dropping actually on day 2 of the 10-day shift. It's my first ever group coaching challenge, and I'm going to have a lot to say about it in the next coming weeks. So let's start with something fun. I did it again, y'all. Another viral reel, actually 2 in a row. And apparently the pattern for me is go on vacation, post a reel, and just watch it take off. I don't fully understand it. Well, okay, I lie. I understand it. And it's about energy. And when you let loose, when you stop trying so hard, something shifts. And this time around, it was actually a little bit more manageable than the last time when I had like 3 extremely viral reels go back to back. And the whole time while I was on vacation. And that was genuinely very overwhelming for me. This time I had 2. One was like right when I was leaving for vacation on the way to the airport. And then the other one was while we were visiting friends. And one of the friends we were with was like, hey, make us go viral. And I was like, I mean, it doesn't really work that way. I'm like, I can try. Like, there's no promises. But sure, why not? I need some content out there anyway, so let's do it. And so I scrolled for a little bit and I found some inspiration. It was like some reel where it was like watching what was it? It was like having my husband's friend feed me and seeing my husband's reaction. And so I didn't necessarily do it in that sense. I did it in another type of sense. And it was more like, look at how my friends' husbands are treating me after their wives signed up for the 10-day shift. And y'all, it got so taken out of context on the internet that I was like, what? All I could do was laugh. Because I know my truth behind the reel. And the people in the reel, they knew the truth behind it. And so if you want to see the reel, like you can go to the Reels tab on Instagram. Right now, it's actually not on my main grid. It was hilarious, just especially if you know the people that were involved. And if you knew me and my husband's personality, it was just funny. So anyways, I am coming up on a whole year of this entire journey. But y'all don't actually know about like my first 6 months because I wasn't putting myself out there like into the public on Instagram or anything like that. And I had some word of mouth clients, people that were close to me in my life at that time. And then I shelved this whole idea. What happened was I got in my own head. I stopped consuming like the content that was like actually inspiring me to do this and just went quiet. I went completely quiet in my life from August to November. And I kind of had been quiet before that, but like I really went off the grid. And I'm going to call that season, and I'm going to start referring it to as my dark rabbit hole because that's the only way I can describe exactly what I was experiencing. And well, I was just lost and confused and just trying to figure out what I was even doing. And then around November, something shifted in me and I felt that nudge again. I went back to the content that had been like moving the needle for me and inspiring me to step out. And honestly, that's how I found my coach that I have now, by going back to what was actually building me up instead of me just hiding from it. And then January came around and I made a decision that this was going to be the year I started making some brave choices. I reached out to people who had inspired me, that I had been watching for like months at a time. I signed up for a group coaching session. I went to an in-person retreat where I did not know a single soul in that room. Do you know how hard that is? And then I made my first reel in the parking lot of my work. My journal, I think I had wrote exactly what I wanted to say on that reel, and I had wrote it in my journal. And I'm pretty sure I just kept reading it, and I probably was like this. If you're watching this video, this is what I was probably like. Went back and I watched it myself. I cringed. I laughed. But hey, y'all, I did it. And the feedback I got on that reel was nothing but positive because it was like, oh, this girl, where she's been. Yes, girl, go for your journey. We're here for it. So if I can do it, you can do it. So earlier this year, I had came out with my 5-day reset, and I will always love what that product is. I don't have it up right now. It's taken down because of the 10-day shift. It would take you through 5 intentional days that were like really meaningful in a way. And I gave about like 50 copies out, like between like January, February through April. But what I kept noticing there was no accountability. It was just, here you go, take it, do what you want with it. Let me know how it goes. And that's just not me. I like to be with the people. I like to encourage, I like to motivate, and I like to go deep. So I took the best parts of the 5-day research. I stretched it to 10 days and built a real community around it. And I'm so pumped up that I was able to do that. There was today I'm filming this on a Friday and it will air on Tuesday. At this time, there's like over 70 women that had signed up when this episode drops. That's where we're at right now, 70 women. And now I do want to say something honest. Signing up is the easy part. I get it. Taking the extra steps to actually show up in the room is where the resistance lives in all of us. And I get it. I completely get it. Because that resistance is exactly what we're working on inside the shift. So if you signed up and haven't come in yet, I get it. And there's still time. This summer has been full for us. I went to 2 different networking events and met some really amazing women in person. I was able to connect with some people, I had some coffee dates, and I have some coffee dates that I need to circle back on because I just came back from vacation. But I'm genuinely looking forward to all the connections with these women that I'm just meeting in these rooms. And as far as my kids, they have had a great summer. We've snuck in a lot of activities, and vacation was really fun. And honestly, y'all, this is hard to admit, but they have become iPad kids, and I hate it. I really do hate it. Um, it is just the season of summer we have been in. I promise you, y'all, I have given them some activities. We're gonna have some other activities towards the summer. I just feel guilty that they have really been too much on their iPads because of work, business, just everything in general. But I'm going to try to do better with that. And officially, we're in the second half of the year, which honestly, it blows my mind. And let's see, I want to share something like that feels really significant to me, like right now in this episode. So during my dark rabbit hole, that August to November season, I was desperately trying to figure out my purpose. What is it? I kept hearing, walk in your purpose is this, and all of these things. Why can't I find it? Y'all, I was praying, I was meditating, I was looking through my Bible, I was looking for journal prompts, everything. I could not figure out my purpose, or so I thought. I was fighting this frustration of not knowing. I was on this really deep, like spiritual journey, and I still could not figure out like what was my purpose. And now I'm sitting here with over 70 women who signed up for a challenge I created, 10 episodes of a podcast I almost didn't start, and people listening all over the country. I found my purpose. I finally feel like I am walking in alignment. There are going to be hard days. There are going to be trials, but there are so many more celebrations coming than I can even imagine right now. And the things are starting to come with like a lot more ease into my life. That feeling after so long of, for one, not really caring what my purpose was, to desperately wanting it, to fighting for it, and now I'm actually living in it. I don't take that lightly, y'all. And not even a little bit. This season it's feeling really good, and I just see and feel all of the great things that are coming. Yeah, this episode was different. I don't have my 3 takeaways for this episode. There's no like deep topic dive this time, but if there's one thing I want you to walk away with today, it's this. And I probably said this before a million times. Act before you're ready. You will not get the confidence first. The confidence comes after you do the thing. If you go back and watch my very first reel from January, you can feel through the screen how nervous I was, how badly I didn't want to hit post. But if I hadn't taken that one scary step, I would not be here right now with 70 women in the 10-day shift and 10 episodes into this podcast. The decisions you make have to be for your future self, not your comfortable self right now, not your past self who has been rejected. Act like the woman who already has what she wants. Start moving like her today. The 10-day shift is happening now. And if you're listening to this and you're feeling like you missed out, I promise you didn't. Just DM me on Instagram, or I'm going to put it in the show notes to sign up and you can get right into it. There's the links and everything. Once you sign up, the emails come to you and I will let you in. And there is still time. There's still so much good ahead. There's also still time to get entries in for the prize. And the prize is going to be 3 1-hour one-on-one coaching sessions with me. And also, I'm teasing a little soft announcement in the 10-day shift. So if you want in on that, get in the 10-day shift because that's how that's how you're going to find out about my little soft announcement. And of course, I do have spots for my one-on-one coaching. And let me tell you, one-on-one coaching is magical. I skyrocketed when I went to one-on-one coaching with my own coach. She is my life and business mentor, and I genuinely could not have done so much of what I've done without her. That's what I offer to you too. It's just you and me, the ultimate accountability for the woman who was made for more, but cannot get out of the loop she's stuck in right now. If that's you, message me on Instagram. We can always jump on a call or just kind of go back and forth on to see if this is even something that is right for you, but get in there while I have a spot open. Thank y'all so much for being here for this one. It felt so good to just kind of talk it out. If this hit home, share it with someone who needs to hear it because that is how we grow. I am Kristen Falgu. This is No Longer Allowed. And technically, I didn't have a no longer allowed topic. So this is what I'm going to say for this episode. And believing that getting accountability means you failed or that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, that belief is no longer allowed. It is okay to let someone in. It is okay to have someone push you forward. I will see y'all in the next episode.